was low grade, along with polyarthralgia. She used analgesics, but her pain did not subside. Then she visited a rheumatologist where she was started on prednisone, azathioprine and HCQS. And for 2 months her symptoms relieved, which is relieved, and then she presented with fever, with high grade associated with chills and drivers, vomiting which were non-bilious.
No, when you say treatment, why don't you also say the physician's diagnosis? Because of course in the
Polyarthralgia, in your rheumatoid arthritis maybe.
You think the physician made a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis that time and gave her what? HCQ. Okay, and prednisone. Generally, only HCQ is not given for rheumatoid arthritis. It's often given for SLE. So do you think he made a diagnosis of SLE itself or that where are the
All the doctors are autonomous arthritis.
Yeah, just see what is the problem. Maybe they have some problem. Just find out.
If you have an autoimmune arthritis only, then I just started steroids. Because with non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs is not responding. My pain is not subsiding.
So essentially she went to the physician. Physician gave her some treatment which seems to be like SLE. We are not very sure what the details are not clear. Yeah, other than so they are all ibuprofen. How many years back now from today?
1 year later.
1 year. Right.
First she developed fever and polyarthralgia. She was treated for 2 months. Then she came with complaints of fever, loose stool and vomiting. Gastroenteritis.
Right.
She did.
Right.
Then we investigated her. We found pancytopenia.
Okay. Yeah.
And her polyarthralgia also she was complaining, sir. It was not subsided completely.
So when you say that, when you are presenting it in Thursday, you have to say when we investigated her, we found these things. In the PowerPoint, you have to show the investigation. Okay. But you have to also tell what we saw when she came. These things. You have to describe those examination. So you have to give all those examination findings. First admission, all these findings. Second admission, your findings. That is how it progress. And first admission, then examination, investigation also you have to tell. So investigation was search over what? I mean, what did we find? We found pancytopenia. See, WBC count is very low. Normally it's 4 to 11,000. This is 1,300. And where is it related? Hemoglobin is also low, RBC must be less. And rates are not written here. 1.1. 1.1. 1.1. You give it up. This one. This one. 1.9. Yeah, so my thrombocytopenia is also there. So yes. So this is one criteria for lupus. Hematological, maybe bone marrow involvement, also peripheral RBC involvement, even platelet involvement. So one criteria is to satisfy. What other criteria? I mean, how can you make it lupus? You need to diagnose lupus here itself. So what? Polyarthritis would have been a better criteria. So what did you see on the musculoskeletal system? They did not mention anything. So they have more talked about abscess subject. And they are the left thigh. So there's some infection she's having. Maybe because of the steroid and the immunosuppression. So what is telling us that this patient is SLE at this point of time? Other than pancytopenia, what else? She doesn't have any renal involvement. What else? Okay, cancer is fine. So how did you make the diagnosis of SLE? Actually, here this girl has not made it yet. Diagnosis. 4/12/2021, December 4, 2021. It's not been made yet. Now, what happened which changed the diagnosis? Oh, so the first presentation nobody could make the diagnosis. It was just pancytopenia with diarrhea and abscess in the thigh, which you can show. All this data is there. If we have not started making all of you do this, everything would have been lost. But now it is there. And that is another of our objectives, to show how effective this thing is. And now, because we won't be showing it in the blog. So now what happened? Next time she came, this is the first time you saw her.
Yes.
No, but here you are already saying she is a non-giver SLE. Since 2 months. Which means we must have made the diagnosis here. Which means that this case report is incomplete. Like
she went to another hospital in Nalgonda, sir, where
Oh my God.
they suspected and they only put her.
So we did not make the diagnosis. She had to go to some other doctor and they made the diagnosis.
They sent her ANM profile, sir, by the time she came here.
Yeah. So from here she went somewhere else, and those people made the diagnosis of SLE. How? Okay, let us see how which you would have written here. So what are the criteria for SLE that she is satisfying? You cannot start with no case.
CNS symptoms. So other treatments of the upper level.
Yeah, so she has got a CNS problem, which we thought of CNS vasculitis. But how many problems do you need to call it SLE?
There is a criteria.
Yeah, you have put the criteria somewhere.
What she is satisfying.
Right. So neonatal seizures, SLE, SLEDAI criteria for lupus. So if there is a neonatal sensory motor neuropathy, 8 points. So is this a neuropathy? This looks like vasculitis. 4 points. This is not neuropathy. Acha, tender finger nodules. Maybe that one was not an infection, that thigh. We have made it a ulcer. Ulcer vasculitis. Vasculitic ulcer. We want this to 8 points. So we have made 20 points, but where are these? Where is the peripheral neuropathy? So do you think there is an element policy? Peripheral neuropathy has to be element. Peripheral nerve starts from the nucleus and goes to the peripheral muscles. So it has to be element. Now we were thinking that this is all because of a stroke. Although looking at this, only this having. So how do you distinguish between a lower motor neuron type of facial palsy versus a stroke causing facial palsy? Yes, involvement of the upper part of the face and most importantly the eyes. So what will happen in a lower motor neuron facial palsy when you ask to close the eyes? Yes, when you ask to close the eyes, you will see that you cannot close the eyes. And the eyeball will be going up. That's called Bell's phenomenon. Isn't it? So did she have that? Yeah, so she could close her eyes. So it is because of the stroke she had. So where is the evidence of neuropathy? You have to minus all those points. So we will have to probably end up showing that many of the SLE diagnoses have been made, but made in error. Isn't it? Or made because we didn't have any other diagnosis. Or because somebody had already made the diagnosis. Isn't it? So probably that is what we will have to show the audience on that day. Yeah. So, okay, but they told that it was positive, isn't it? We accept it. Now, if you say it is positive, then what grows into the criteria? So SLEDAI criteria, 8 points is now minus. Arthritis, she didn't have any arthritis. You said she had arthralgia.
When she presented, she did not have this.
Exactly.
From 2 months, she was complaining.
But that was arthralgia, you said. You said it was arthralgia. What is the difference between arthralgia and arthritis?
There is sinusitis also.
Yes, inflammation. Inflammation, how is it suggested clinically? So let us see if she had it at this point of time. Swelling around the joint. Patient took COVID vaccine. This all happened after the COVID vaccine. Isn't it? That adds an interesting twist to it. So COVID induced SLE. COVID vaccine induced SLE. And apparently asymptomatic 2 months back, developed fever with low grade as well as polyarthralgia.
Even if it's arthritis, it needs to be the same.
And then after the polyarthritis, she took the vaccine, is it? According to this writing. Okay. And then she started developing small and large joint pain with swelling around the joint. What are the other features of arthritis other than swelling? Because in spite of swelling, she has continued to maintain that is polyarthralgia. I'm not sure if she knows the difference between arthritis. Sahitya is a good student. I can remember her name, if not her face. But I remember I associated that name with a good student. I mean, that's what we will recall of you even after 1 year. Now we are knowing your name and everything. After 1 year, everything will just vanish. So you see why these things are so vital. Because when you come for the letter of recommendation, let's say after 3-4 years when you are married off to US and you want to be a doctor there, you have no choice. So you come to us for letter of recommendation, you say, who are you? What work did you do? Then this will come in useful. And that is what is exactly happening right now. Many of those people are coming back to us, wanting it, and we say, sorry, we can't. Because we don't know what you did. We have no clue. So we are confused whether it was arthritis or arthralgia. Now, what are the other things you would have looked for?
We had non-spiral alopecia.
No. I mean, in the arthritis versus arthralgia, what else? Simple questions, exam questions. So far.
Redness.
Okay, redness not very commonly seen unless it's gout. Deformity, yes. What else? Restriction of movement. Restriction of movement. That's the most important. Tenderness, swelling, restriction of movement. She has only mentioned swelling, no tenderness, restriction of movement. We don't know what she is talking about. Isn't it? So unless we had made her present and we had discussed it, she wouldn't have changed it. In spite of that, she may not have. So this is causing confusion. Once we are trying to now review it retrospectively, it's causing confusion in us. What was it? So, okay, she had some inflammation, she had joint pain. People thought it was arthritis. They gave her and treated her for arthritis. Although only LCP and prednisone was a very peculiar combination. That too is other brain. So they have already started a treatment for SLE. Rheumatologist, yeah. Rheumatologist will not, give this for rheumatoid arthritis. He will give it only for SLE. Which means she was diagnosed as SLE from the very beginning. From the very beginning. After that, she came here. We did not give much importance to the SLE. And then she went back again to the dermatologist probably. We only looked at this answer. And possibly now, if we are thinking of SLE, this could have been a vasculitis answer. Then she came back with another evidence of vasculitis in the CNS. This time, when you saw. So now she has got maybe ANA positivity done by the rheumatologist and arthritis, then vasculitis, skin as well as CNS. So 4 criteria are satisfied. And hematological, fine. So we have the diagnosis, isn't it? Yeah, she has got alopecia. Yeah, so we have got so many oral ulcers. So many points satisfying SLE, isn't it? And what did we do after that? What is the treatment now? This is yours. This one. This is yours. So what treatment did we give her after that? Ecosprin fluid. Okay, so this is only for the stroke. Yeah, this is for atherosclerotic stroke. I don't know why we gave this. This is antiplatelets to prevent another stroke. So these are hardly any treatment. This we gave to reduce the vasculitis at that time. High dose steroids. And you have to, somebody who is representing this, who was there at this time? Huh? Who? Durga Prasad. You tell him that you will have to discuss this with him. January 1, 2022. Particularly, we have to discuss what is the efficacy of dexamethasone and as an anti-inflammatory versus methylprednisolone, because we use it for cost purposes. Methylprednisolone is much more higher expensive, which Chandana has used in her patient. So, but Manisha used the less costly option, that is dexamethasone. So we will have to explain the discrepancy, isn't it? So Manisha, now what happened to your patient? How is she? What about her SLE? What about her symptoms? So you have to tell us that. You have to tell your audience that. Because we are always curious. We have treated that, but how long are we going to treat her? Now she is 33-year-old. She will become 43. How long? How long will she treat treatment, and what is the current treatment she is getting? She cannot be getting IV dexamethasone. That is the last thing Manisha is ready. She could be on oral prednisolone. How much dose is she taking now? What has happened to her? Is she alive? These are the questions which Manisha will have to find out. How?
I don't know.
You have it.
That time I used to not take it.
But you have taken the consent form.
Give the sign.
What's the signature? So you will have to go to the file and see the address from there. And one of these days you will have to take a bus and go and meet her at home. That is the real community medicine trip. The real trip, community medicine. Not your take trips on the bus going for just your tiffin and all. Is it? So, yeah, so we are presenting on 27th. So you got some time, some weekends to go and meet her and find out. Isn't it? So what we will do right now, you go to the MRD and get her file out. How will you do that? Admission book also. How will you, which admission? So who will show her how to find out the admission book and phone number?